Testing, testing. Okay, no music right now. That's fine. We'll fix that. And we can just crop that. And then we can make Tinkerton a little bigger. She gets to be large today. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And we'll put on the soundtrack backing noise and just just mute that. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need to echo with like 5 seconds delay. We're fine. It's fine. Um that's pretty quiet. I don't know if that's too quiet. Let me know, I guess. Uh but for now, we've got some Pokemon to rank, boys. Okay, so last time I talked a lot and I lost my voice. Oops. So this time I'm gonna try and be a little quieter, or talk a little less throughout the stream, be a little more soothing with the voice. I gotta do my regular shills. Is the thumbnail broken on my channel? I have to check that. Because I know the thumbnail is broken when I linked it, but that might be a preview issue. It's just a preview issue. Okay, that's pretty great. Yeah. No, we're not playing Fire Emblem 4. Do like that game. We're not playing it here today. Yeah, let's finish my usual shills. That should be it. Alright. So last time we left off, we did generations 1 through 3. And this was a bad decision. So instead, I've put 4 plus in the video title, with the implicit understanding that we're gonna start at generation 1, and how far are we gonna get? That's an excellent question. But first off, I wanted to make an announcement to the public that the base department has been bringing in great dividends for the corporation, and as a result, we're expanding. So we're gonna move up a bunch of Pokemon into the base department, just directly from 7.8 out of 10. I think I was far too strict with base department hiring qualifications before. I think there's a lot of valuable employees that deserve to be in the base department that were not allowed in because of those strict hiring requirements. I think that's probably good for now. I kind of want... I think I undersold Mio. I want to do that. I'm gonna try to avoid making retroactive changes too much, because if I open the door for that, then, well, we're gonna be in a spot of bother, I think. There's gonna be a lot of, retroactive changes. So, for the time being, we're gonna kind of avoid doing that as much as possible. But since I know people couldn't stick around for the last stream, I am gonna open up specifically, I think, mostly Hoenn Pokemon for this kind of criticism, to share your thoughts on, and Low and such. I'm just kind of skimming through to see what I was cooking last time. I do think I Feel Nothing needs to be split into 2 tiers. I think I Feel Nothing is a bit too broad of a categorization, because there's some Pokemon here that's like, I feel nothing, but like, there might be a slight dose of like, oh yeah, I'm okay with you existing, you're pretty neat. And then there's some Pokemon here, like Illumise, who's like on the cusp of mild disdain, but is cute, so it barely manages to eke it out. So I think we are going to have to come up with a new tier, probably for upper half and lower half of I Feel Nothing. I think I'm going to call it... We're going to call this tier, I suppose. Because, you know, I suppose. And we're just going to move a fuck ton of Pokemon from I Feel Nothing up here. Because, you know, I look at Horsey and I go, yeah, I suppose. It's not, you know, pretty solid. But I suppose. How far do we want to go with this? I think we probably want a fair few Pokemon to go into here. Who's gonna be the gatekeeper? I think Farfetch'd can gatekeep. I don't want... I think as we get down into here, I start feeling a more intense feeling of ennui. And I think that marks a noted decrease in quality. But I do think we need an I suppose tier. And I think maybe there's some Pokemon that I can move down from Pretty Solid into that tier as well, because Pretty Solid is a pretty wide gulf of Pokemon. I think we're going to take a dent into Pretty Solid. So we're going to move a bunch of guys up there. Just some guys that I quite like. I think Plus and Minus is probably about where I would draw the line, because these guys are just cute, and that's all I really feel about them. I don't have many strong emotions with regards to these guys. Yeah, I think that's about it. And then on the lower end, we can start putting guys into I suppose I'll move it above meme tier. Fuck. Is that here? No, I think it was here. Onyx, Steelix, Phanpy, Togepi, Mega Steelix, Big Wheeze. I think I will allow Alolan Marowak to stay in Pretty Solid. I think it deserves that. So I think now that we've kind of... Actually, I'm going to move Volbeat, Illumise, and Kecleon and Stantler into Mild Disdain. I think Spinarak and Ariados are on the cusp of Mild Disdain, because I'm not fond of them, but that's mostly just because they're spiders, you know? Wow, the desktop audio is so quiet. Okay, I'm going to raise the audio of this again. And my mouse cursor... Hold on. Oh, no, it showed up again. What the heck is going on? Okay, is this better? It seems better. We're gonna chill with that for now. So yeah, I think that's probably about it for organizational changes to the list as we've seen so far. I think now we can start getting into Generation 4. Just for a recap, here's how our tiering system works. Peak Pokemon are the best of the best, my favorites. For today only, I have a close friend who really likes Flygon, so Flygon's going to get to sit in... let's go ahead and... Flygon Me to the Moon. It is still going to be about here between Jirachi and Mega Absol, but for today only, Flygon gets to be in the S tier. The triple S tier. So P Pokemon are the best of the best. Love these guys to death. Best Pokemon they've ever made. Easy. Base department are love these guys. These are great Pokemon designs. Love to see them. Just very good. 7 out of 10. Very solid. Not quite make the base department. But you know they're on the potential applicants list that barely didn't make the cut. You know, these are good guys. I like them a lot. Pretty solid are Pokemon that I'm like, yeah, that Pokemon is pretty solid. I like seeing it. But if I didn't see it, I wouldn't be too up. Like, these are the Pokemon, like, if they got Dexited in a certain generation, that's fine. Not ideal, but fine. Then we have, I suppose, which are Pokemon designs that I look at and I say, I suppose. I Feel Nothing are Pokemon that I feel nothing about. We'll get there. We're getting to Motom. Motom will come in time. Are the Rotom forms on this list, actually? Okay, they are. That's good. Mild Disdain are Pokemon for whom I feel a mild disdain. That category is pretty self-explanatory. Wretched Creatures is for Pokemon that I have a more than mild disdain for. And Keel Over and Die is from the Michael Rosen scale. I think these Pokemon should keel over and die. And so we're going to start with Turtwig. And I have a friend who's going to watch the stream at some point, and I really want to see their reaction if I put it in like a low tier. But I can't do it to my boy. Turtwig is great. I think Turtwig goes probably like here-ish. Turtwig is adorably cute. Turtwig, I think it... no, actually. Turtwig goes in peak. I have to admit this. Despite my desire to shit on this person's takes, Turtwig is great and deserves love and respect. Turtwig is a fantastic grass starter design. They don't really miss that much with grass starters. I think the worst grass starter is Chikorita, and even that is still pretty solid. What's worse than that? I like Snivy, I like Rowlet, I like Chespin. Okay, never mind. I remembered one that's bad. We'll get to that one, but that's not for a bit. But yeah, Turtwig stonks are very high today. Grotle is not quite as high. Grookey misses, you're so correct. I'm so sorry. Grookey, I think, goes in 7.8 out of 10. I'm gonna put it around... I like it about as much as Roselia. I like these two Pokemon. They're clearly middle stages in between some really great designs, but they still manage to hold themselves out as pretty solid. I think Grotle is not a miss, just a lesser hit. And Torterra's fantastic. Torterra is it peak Pokemon? I think it's around here. I think Turtwig's cuteness is better than Torterra's coolness factor, but they are both fantastic designs. A great start to Generation 4. 100%. Chimchar is less good. I do still like Chimchar. I think Chimchar is 7.8 out of 10. I don't think I like it more than Torchic. I think I'm gonna put it around... As the Reggie music comes on, that's coincidental. Around the Reggies, actually. I like the Reggies a bit more, but I think Chimchar is still a hit, just not a huge hit. Monferno, I think, is pretty cool. I think Monferno is alright. I think it probably goes around here. I think Monferno is a cool guy. I don't think he's great, but he's a cool guy. And then Ape, I think I like pretty well too. I think all three of these Evo members kind of fit around the same level. I think I like you less than Victory Bell. I think the entire Fire Monkey line is pretty cool. Obviously, some small points docked for being the second consecutive firefighting starter. But honestly, I think the design stands on its own merits. And Fernand's pretty fucking cool. I like him. The Sun Wukong kind of aesthetic going on. It's pretty nice. I like it. Piplup is cute. Piplup gets major cuteness points. I do think that's about all it has going for it, though. It's just kind of a penguin. I think I like it more than Grottle. I think I like it about this much. Piplup is very cute. Prinplup I'm not as fond of. I think Prinplup is a very awkward middle stage. I think it is pretty solid. Probably around here. No, worse than Jeskin, Dusclops, and Haria. Better than Moltres, I would say. I think Prinplup is a bit of a miss. Empoleon is not a miss, though. Empoleon's definitely a hit. The Regal design really works for me. Part of this, I think, is Pokemon Ranger nostalgia, wherein, you know, Shadow's Volmia, you write on Empoleon, and it's fucking sick. But I do think this does a lot for the design for me. I think it is above Mega Slowbro. Oh, this is a good design. In general, I think Sinnoh starters are hits. Starly. Starly's pretty cute. I don't have much more else to say about it. I think it's kind of a... It sure is a regional bird. I think I like it about as much as I like Electabuzz. Yeah. Right there. Staravia, I feel the exact same way about Staravia that I do about Starly. They're the same Pokemon, basically. Staraptor, on the other hand, is a fantastic regional bird. I think the hair gives it so much personality. Also, just mechanically, it feels a lot more distinct from a lot of the other regional birds who tend towards doing very similar stuff. I think it gets to make it to 7.8 out of 10. I think it's better than the Mega Lotties. No, actually, we're going a little higher with this guy. I think it gets to go all the way above Zapdos. I think Staraptor's pretty great, actually. Bidoof! Let's go! No, I can't in good conscience actually do this. I do actually quite like Bidoof. It's very cute. But really, again, that's really all that's got going for it. I think it's a pretty solid design as far as the regional mammal goes. I think it's pretty good. I think I like it about as much as I like Cyndaquil. The Liberal, a very funny bit, but it's also just Bidoof too. I can't... I like the Liberal actually a bit less. I think honestly I have to put it in meme tier. Does Bidoof go into meme tier too? Do I have to admit this to myself? I might have to admit this to myself. I might have to admit. Also, chat real quick. Anyone who's listening in, is the audio balancing okay? Please let me know. Yeah, Bidoof has to go into meme tier. I'm sorry. I can't dissociate it from the memes. It's great though. It is legitimately cute, but I don't think that puts it higher than meme tier. Kricketot. That sounds fine. Okay, thank you. Kricketot, I think, is an I feel nothing kind of Pokemon. I think it's on the level of like above Lombre. It's a cute little bug creature. That's about it. Okay, I feel as if the time has come. As all Pokemon fans must at one point in their life put out into the world a Kricketune cry impression. And I'm going to make my best attempt here, so here goes. Thank you. Shinx is great. Shinx is fucking adorable. I love Shinx. Shinx is here. Shinx is great. What a fucking friend. I love that guy. Luxio, also pretty good, cool guy. I think not quite as good as Shinx. Above the Lotties. I think Luxio's pretty cool. And then Luxray. Luxray is a very cool guy. I don't quite like it as much as Shinx, honestly. I think Shinx is the peak of the line. But I do like it still. I think it's above... I think it's about here. I like these two about the same amount. I think Luxray is definitely cool. But I think Shinx is the peak of... Shinx is just so cute. Badoo is a Pokemon I don't care much for. I kind of feel nothing. About this much nothing. But Roserade's fantastic. Where'd I put Roselia? Because Roselia is, like, around here. I think Roserade's in the base department, honestly. I think Roserade's about, like... I think Roserade's about here. I really like Roserade. I think it's a super cool design. I think it really makes Roselia feel like a middle stage or something with it and Badoo. And I think Roselia is a great peak. I think it's a great apex to the line. This is a very unflattering sprite for Cranidos. Oh my god. Coffin baby looking ass. Alright, well... I'm gonna try to not be biased against it with this sprite, because I do actually like Cranidos conceptually. I think Cranidos is pretty solid. I don't think it clears Gyarados. I do think it clears Combuskin. I think if I wanted a Pokemon that is this kind of dinosaur, and I know what it is, but I can't think of the name off the top of my head, I think Cranidos is what I would want from the first stage. And Rampardos is what I want from the second stage. I have PTSD from when Kid Me could not beat this guy in Ranger Shadows of Almia. I think he's really rad. I think, just conceptually, he works really well. I think he's better than Heracross. I wish to God that that Rampardos was an actual Pokemon that could fulfill an actual function, and not just a horribly awful set of stats that don't manage to do anything ever. Yeah, that's all I got for that. Shieldon, I think, is a little worse. I think Shieldon is definitely an I suppose kind of Pokemon. About here. It just kind of looks wrong. You know, it doesn't look like it's fully formed yet. Bastiodon is very cool, though. I think I quite like Bastiodon. It's definitely a pretty solid kind of Pokemon. I think I like it a little more than Doduo. It feels a lot more like Fortress-like. In a way, Fortress-like. Hey, where did I put Fortress? Where are you? Is Fortress high or low? I forget. It doesn't really matter. Puns aside, I like Bastiodon. He's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty solid. Wow. There sure are every Burmy and Wormadam form here. Let's get this over with. I don't like them. Ironically, I am actually going to differentiate the Wormadam cloaks, because I do think Wormadam Plant Cloak is meaningfully less reprehensible than Wormadam Trash and Sandy Cloak. I think Sandy Cloak's about here, and Trash Cloak is about here. I cannot describe this to you, but Wormadam Plant Cloak feels like a Pokemon that I'm like, okay, I don't like you at all, but you exist. And then these two, I'm like, no. Oh no, that's like... I respect that they would be on the list because they are different forms. Like, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't give a shit about these fuckers. Speaking of fuckers I don't give a shit about, hey Motham. Go sit next to Cleffa in the timeout corner. I think Combee's actually quite cute. I do like Combee. I think it gets to be in pretty solid. I think it's about as good as Shelgon. Less than Pinsir, but more than Cranidos. I think Combee is a gendered evolution, while making sense in the concept of, you know, it's bees. Sucks, and I don't like it. Gender is a construct anyways. But Vespiquen is a sick design, actually. I think Vespiquen rocks, and it gets kind of underappreciated by a lot of people. I would go so far as to put Vespiquen above Teddiursa. I think Vespiquen is really cool. I don't know, I just think it's a really sensible design for a queen bee. I like how it has the signature order moves. I wish they were more than just like cosmic power, recover, and fucking horse lunge. But hey, you know, we take what we can get. Pachirisu is fucking adorable. Look, I know it's a Pikachu clone. I know in my heart of hearts, but it is still cute. I like it, like, I think slightly more than the cheerleader rats. No, I think the gendered evolution at all is kind of a problem too. I do think, like, if you're thinking of it from a perspective of, you know, this is based off of this organism, then it should be a 1-to-8 gender ratio. Realistically, you know, because, you know, it's like, it's a bee, right? You know, queen bees are rare. That's kind of the point. And then also, only female bees can become the queen bee. That makes sense. They need the royal jelly. But the mechanical interpretation of that is just really annoying. So I think, you know, they kind of had to choose between let's make this Pokemon close to the biology, and let's make this Pokemon actually fucking fun. And I respect the decision that they made, even if I don't agree with it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Pachirisu does have the world champ differences, you're so correct. Who's next? Yeah, I think... Yeah, makes sense to me. I agree with that. Weasel's fine. I think he's a cute guy, but that's about all I feel. I think he's like peak I suppose, you know? Floatzel? I actually like Floatzel less than Weasel. I think the weird thing it's got going on is just not appealing. I don't know. Like, again, Ranger bias, I think it works a lot better in those games so you can see how it swims. But in the actual, like, look, front-facing view, this Pokemon is lame. I don't like it. Cherubi is a Pokemon that I never think about, but it's kind of cute, so I feel like nothing. I like it less than Masquerain. It's a cherry. I'm going to rate Cherim as a cohesive entity. I think rating the forms individually is something you can do, but it's a bit hard because you almost never see the actually visually appealing Sunny form, as opposed to the Overcast form, which is, I think, a lot less appealing, but the combination of the two, I think, is actually pretty cool. I don't love them, but I think they're pretty solid. I think I put them about on the level of Blossom. Do they beat Puff? No. I think they beat Blossom very slightly. Because I think the gimmick is pretty neat. I just wish it was, like, reasonably usable. I'm gonna put them together not because, like, they're separate designs that are on the same level, but because I'm rating them as one cohesive entity, if that makes sense. I think, you know, if Sunny form was more reasonable to achieve, what the fuck are you talking about? No, like, think about it this way. This is me in boy mode, and this is me in girl mode. Anyways, oh, hi. We're getting to you later. Shellos is great. Shellos is in the base department, I feel. Not super high. I think it's above Celebi. I think both forms of Shellos are about the same place for me. I view them both pretty much the same. I think blue is slightly better than pink in the baby form, in Shellos form. I think they're just both little cute little slugs. They don't do much. They're just kind of cute, and I think that works for me. Gastro the Dawn. I think Gastro the Dawn is pretty great. I think honestly it's like right above Shellos for me. Like, I view the designs almost identically, but I think Gastrodon's just a slight bit better because it feels a bit more complete as a design. It's weird because, like, I would never think cute little slug creature is a phrase that I would say, but they're cute little slug creatures. You know, they're cute and they're slugs. I like them. Ambipom is a wretched creature. What did they look how they massacred my boy. Like, this is a spite wretched creature, okay? Like, reasonably, it should be in mild disdain. But it's just like, Apom is a cute little guy. I don't remember where I put Apom. There's so many fucking Pokemon on this list. How am I supposed to remember where all of them go? Like, where the fuck is Apom? Where'd he go? Where is... Oh, there he is. Yeah. He's pretty solid. He's a cute guy. And, like, the fucking hands are absolutely massacred. The face is all wrong. Like, this is just... It's awful. What did they... Look how they massacred my boy. Drifloon, it's carved from Sting Siege. I have never seen that. Drifloon is a Pokemon that exists. I think it's an I suppose kind of design. I like it better than... I like it better than Machamp. It's just kind of a balloon. It's kind of cute, though. It works for me, for what it is. Drifblim? I think I like slightly better. I think I like it more on the level of, like... around here. I think Drifblim works a fair bit better than Drifloon, but not by too much, but there's a little bit of an improvement on the design. Baneri is a bunny. I suppose. It's cute. That's all I got. Okay, chat. Okay, chat. We've made it to a clear turning point in the tier list. This is the point when I have to start talking about furries and how they've ruined Lopunny for me. Because I like Lopunny's design. I think it's a pretty good design. I don't think it's like, you know, peak Pokemon, but I think it's like pretty solid. But the internet has ruined Lopunny for me. And today I'm going to spite the internet to say, no, you will not make me disturbed by your sins. I don't know what I'm going for here. Lopunny's probably about, like, here-ish. I think Lopunny is a good design with a major asterisk. And that asterisk is... people are really weird about it, and I kind of understand why, but I don't like it. Okay, we're moving on. Mega Lopunny's better. I think people talk about the ripped tights in a very sexualized way, and I don't entirely see that. Because the way I see it, it's very much supposed to be like a gymnast or gym athlete, you know? Like, you know, someone who's working out in the gym, you know, they wear their workout yoga pants, you know, they've seen a lot of use, and so you become, you know, a fighter. And I think that works for the design. It's not exceptional. It still has the Lopunny issue, but it's still pretty good. Mismagius. I really like Mismagius, actually. I think the witch aesthetic is very strong here, and it works to great extent. I think Mismagius is a bit better than Galarian's Slowking. I think Mismagius is great. Should I go even higher? No, I think that's where Mismagius belongs. I like it a lot. Honchkrow? I like Honchkrow. I think Honchkrow's about... here. I think I like it about as much as Murkrow. I think the fedora is very funny. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's pretty solid. Glameow is a mild disdain Pokemon. I don't like it. It is a cat, and I like cats, but it's just not it. I do not get good vibes from Glameow. And I was correct because I feel even more mild disdain for Perugly. They at least disclaimed that it was ugly. I don't have to draw that conclusion on my own. They told me right up front that this Pokemon is ugly. And I have to agree with them. They're correct. It's ugly. I've just been sent an accursed image. That we're gonna pull up on screen right now. To the person responsible for this appearing on my screen, God is aware of your actions. And you will be treated accordingly. Okay? We're moving on. Chingling is mild disdain. I do not care for Chingling. It could be worse. It's only mild disdain. And I guess it kind of works as the Chimecho pre-evo, but that's about it. Stunky is an I Feel Nothing Pokemon, like, peak I Feel Nothing. Like, Sunflora and Goldeen levels of I Feel Nothing. Like, it's a skunk. Okay. Skuntank is in a weird position. Because there are two wolves inside me, so to speak. One wolf says, Skuntank was the shittiest Pokemon you've ever drafted, put it in Wretched Creatures. But the other wolf says, actually, it's a pretty good design for a skunk Pokemon. So I'm gonna instead put it in, like, I suppose. I think it deserves that much. I think Skuntank's a pretty cool skunk Pokemon. I think if someone were to make a skunk Pokemon, Skuntank's a pretty good direction to take it in. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but I do think it works in the Pokemon's favor conceptually. I think Skuntank's pretty alright. Bronzor's great. I think a lot of my Bronzor I like is from Shadows of Almia, gonna be honest. I love how the PMD nostalgia has gradually morphed in this stream into Shadows of Almia nostalgia. But I think Bronzor is actually a cool design. I think they really make it work in that game specifically, wherein Bronzor, comes off blends into the walls with Bronzor murals and will come out and attack you. And I think it really works for the Pokemon. On a similar note, Bong Dong Gong Zong is great. I like Bronzong. It feels like a Pokemon that shouldn't exist, and I love that. At some point on this fucking list, we're gonna get to a series of Pokemon that, like, do this but way more. And I think, like, those Pokemon, like, no, honestly, Bronzong to the fucking moon. I love Bronzong. It's such a cool design that feels so wrong. It's great. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take 5 because my laundry's done, and I have to check up on that. But do not go. I will be back in like 5 minutes. Hey guys, I'm back. Oh god, no, the chat's gone wild. One post. Okay. I left off at a bad time. Immediately, several wretches. Baby Pokemon are generally misses. None of those are exceptions to the rule. This should not be surprising. Chatot is canonically the only Pokemon that can say slurs. Good for him. You can be better than Delibird. Spiritomb. I think Spiritomb peak, honestly. I think Spiritomb is a rad as hell design. I think Spiritomb is so fucking cool, guys. Oh my god. Spiritomb is an insanely cool Pokemon. Oh, hold on. I got one. Okay, never mind. Who cares? Cool. Gibble? I actually don't care for Gibble. I think Gibble's kind of lame. Gibble's a very much an, It's giving energy. It's kind of cute. I don't like it. Gabite, stronger. We're getting there. Pretty solid, you know. It has mid-stage Evo syndrome, but it's pretty good. He's a pretty cool guy. Garchomp. Hello? Base department. Garchomp was created by someone who is probably like the second coolest guy of all time. Whoever thought that Land Shark Dragon was like a cool idea, you were right. Garchomp is sick as fuck. Yeah, I 100% agree. That Sinnoh babies feel like a manifesto by someone who hates small children. I like children, but not those ones. What's that fucking Good Place quote? I won't do kids, but that rule's negotiable if the kid's a dick, in reference to killing kids. Anyways, Mega Garchomp's kind of a miss, relatively speaking. I still do think it's one of the better pseudo-megas, because a lot of the pseudo-megas are kind of misses, but in general, it doesn't quite feel as cool as the original. I think it's about here-ish. Beats out Ho-Oh. I think it's still pretty cool. It is kind of just Garchomp but more, which is pretty nice, but the way it is more, Garchomp didn't need more. It's very excessive. Munchlax, I only view with, like, mild disdain, as opposed to a lot of the other babies that... Actually, do I even feel disdain to this thing? Not really. I think it's alright. I think it's about as good as Azurill. He's just kind of a guy, you know? He didn't do anything wrong. Except for that one game where he did. I have this memory of Munchlax being a dick in, like, one side game. And I don't know what game that is. But Munchlax feels like he's an asshole in, like, some side property. And I believe it intrinsically. I'm not, but, you know, it's just not an I feel nothing, It's like, I don't like him that much, but I also think he's kind of cute, but whatever. Riolu. I think Riolu's cute. Riolu is a dub for baby Pokemon lovers everywhere. There aren't a lot of them, but they do exist, and Riolu is a pretty cool guy. I think he gets to be around the level of Lalit. I think Riolu's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, it is XD. I don't know where Munchlax is in XD, so I might not have gotten to that part. I don't know. And Lucario, again, the furries have tried their best to ruin Lucario, but he is just a pretty good design. The Anubis Jackal vibes are very cool, strong with this one. He's very cool. I like him a lot. Mega Lucario, I think, is actually a good improvement on the design. I think Lucario is very sleek and cool. Oh, it's the Pokespot bastard. Okay, you're so correct. Thank you. Mega Lucario is cool. I like him. I think he's not much better than Lucario normally, but the way he's kind of just like a souped up version. It feels like a natural introduction to what megas are in XY. If they had implemented them more into the base game, maybe XY would have been good. Anyways, Hippopotas. I think Legends Arceus is a big part of the reason why I think Hippopotas is pretty cool. Just because of the way it peaks up above the sand. It's not like a peak Pokemon or anything, but it's definitely pretty solid. I like it, I think, about as much as Numel. I think he's a cute little guy. Hippowdon feels like a stall Pokemon to me, and for that reason I don't like it as much. But, he's still a cool kind of hippo guy. So I gotta give him some credit for that. I think he's about as much, I like him about as much as Machamp, I'm gonna say. Skorupi I think is a very cool guy. I think Skorupi's pretty solid. Praise Helix. Drapion. I think Drapion is sick as fuck. And just like Skuntank before it, it has disappointed me greatly in Draft League. Me when I draft the Poison Dark type to fill the niche of having a grounded Poison and Dark type, and it does the task and nothing else. Drapion's cool as hell though. I can't be too mad. I think Drapion's like about here. Alolamok's too expensive because it's an actual good Pokemon. That's the issue here. I can't afford it. I'm broke from drafting better Pokemon. Alright, Krogunk is carried by Looker, and I think that does a lot to make me like the design. I think it's pretty strong. I think it's about here-ish? Maybe better than Dodrio. I think he's just a fucking gremlin of a guy, and I respect it. I think he's an absolute bastard in Pokken from what I've seen, and honestly, good for him. Toxicroak is also pretty cool. I don't like it as much as Krogunk, I think, but he is still, I think, pretty solid. I think I'd probably put him around, like, about a little better than Lotad. I think he's a cool guy. Shadows to the Jungle, Jaken. I feel nothing. About as much as I feel nothing about Smeargle. That sure is a not as good carnivorous plant Pokemon as Victory Bell. I know they're going for different things. He's a Venus Flytrap. Victreel's a pitcher plant. But Carnivine doesn't do it as well. I'm sorry. Finneon is a Pokemon that I really wanted to like. Fairly recently, I did a casual playthrough of Pokemon Diamond. Not Platinum, because I don't own Platinum physical. Because I was playing with a friend, and we were playing on physical cartridge. And so I trained and used a Lumineon. Because I was like, I've never used this Pokemon. It looks kind of pretty, but no one ever talks about it because it's just a non-factor. It's just one of the many million water Pokemon in Sinnoh. And I figured out exactly why no one talks about it, because it's fucking worthless. But that does not stop Finneon from making me feel nothing about it. Similarly, Lumineon is a pretty elegant, cool design that I kind of like, that manages to be at the very bottom of I suppose. I wish this Pokemon had literally any sauce. It does not help. This is like a reset-worthy bad encounter in fucking Run and Bun, because, like, the competition is Masquerain, who's the Brawly Goat, Seismitoad, who's really good for Roxanne, Watson, and just a bunch of normal trainers, and then Ludicolo, who's generally pretty alright, but not exceptional, and then you have this fucking thing, which is good for no fights ever. Mantike is cute. That's about all I have to say. You can go with Mantine. I'd believe it. Like, to be fair, like, any immunity ability is pretty good in Ranbats. But in Run and Bun, no one gets Storm Drained. So it doesn't even have that going for it. The best it has is Swift Swim, which is pretty alright. But, no. Snover, I don't care for, actually. I think Snover's kind of weird and lame. I think Snover is about here. I feel nothing for Snover. Abomasnow's pretty cool, though, actually. I think Abomasnow is a bit cooler than Entei. I think an abominable snowman Pokemon really works here. You know, especially with the fact that they actually gave it snow warning before. Doesn't Basculegion get like superpower or something? That's the funniest shit I've seen all day, though. But honestly, you know who else is a Basculegion check with Terra Normal? A Pokemon I like looking at way more. Fuck, I missed it. All right, guys, stream's over. I'm done. I missed a hardly nowhere joke. I can't. We're moving on. I don't care that much for Mega Abomasnow. I think it's kind of like not the way I would want to design a Mega Obama. I do think Abomasnow deserves a Mega, but this is not the way to do it. I think I would go so far as to put it below here. I think it is. No, it's an A, I suppose. It's like here-ish. Feels weird that they put it on all fours. I don't like it. Weavile's pretty cool. Weavile's a cool guy. Where's Sneasel? Sneasel's here? I think Weavile's a bit better. I think Weavile gets to make it above Metagross. I think Weavile's a cool Pokemon. I think Sneasel definitely needs a little love, and I think Weavile is just a cool, fast Ice type. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think this is a cool evolution. I think it works. Get in the zone, Magnezone. I do think this is a slightly better design than the Magnet guys. About here. I think all three Magnets are just very solid designs. They're all have a good personality going for them. They're very cohesive. They feel like a set, and they're all good. No, that's too harsh. I think Licky and Lickitung are about the same. I think Lickitung is a bit more sophisticated. He's got a bib going on. He reminds me of the Shy Guy chef, Gourmet Guy from Paper Mario, the original. And that's one selling point he gets. Aside from that, he's still wretched. Rhyperior is a Pokemon I have kind of like mixed feelings on. On the one hand, it's very clearly like a bit over-designed compared to the original line, but I do think that gives it a fair bit more personality to work with, and as a result, I quite like it. I think Rhyperior probably goes around. I think it does not clear Macargo. I think it's around here. I think Rhyperior does well enough for itself as a design that I like looking at it. I used to not, but now I think I've come around to Rhyperior and what it brings to the table. Tangrowth is just Tangela but more, and I love that for her. These are the same picture, and they're both great. What lies beneath the mass? You will never know. Electivire, I think is alright. I think it's a bit of a step up from Electabuzz, but it's not a huge step up. I think it probably goes around here. I think Electivire is pretty alright. Magmortar, I'm not fond of. Magmortar is not a Pokemon I enjoy looking at. Does it escape mild disdain? I don't think it does, no. I think it's better than... It is a significant margin better than, like, the other members of its family, but I still don't like it. Togekiss is actually pretty great. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, but it's pretty alright. It's a very fun Pokemon to look at. It's very sleek and cool. I think it's to go around below Typhlosion and Bronzor. Here-ish, above Ludicolo. Yanmega. I really like Yanmega. In a lot of ways, it's a very similar design to Yanma. Where did I put Yanma? I'm trying to be like, I feel similarly about this Pokemon to this other Pokemon, so I'll use it as a reference point for where I'm going to rank this one. There it is. I think Yanma Mega is very slightly better than Yanma. It feels like Yanma's kind of just an Dragonfly, but Yanmega has a cool factor to it that elevates it slightly, probably about here. I think Mega is a very cool design. I think Leafeon's really cool. I think it's a bit of an unconventional approach to an evolution, but I think it really works for it. I like it more than I like Marshtomp, but probably not as much as Glowbro. Glaceon is a very cute design. I quite like it. It just doesn't have that much sauce going on. Probably about here. Gliscor. I love Gliscor. Gliscor is based. Instinct says Gliscor goes about here. No, actually even higher than that. Gliscor is cooler than Charmander. I think, you know, much the same way that Weavile's an improvement on Sneasler, I think Gliscor, you know, takes Gligar, a very simple Pokemon. It makes it just a lot cooler. It makes it really rad. I think this is also some draft bias, because in my best draft league performance ever, I drafted Gliscor, and it was fucking incredible as a bulky pivot. So yeah, Gliscor's great, I love it. Mamoswine. Mamoswine's pretty cool. I think Mamoswine is a pretty solid Pokemon. Actually, you know what? It makes it to 7.8. I think it makes it above here. About here. I think big woolly mammoth Pokemon is kind of all it is, but it does well at being that. Porygon Z, British American, so many divisions in society, but we really are more alike than we are different. I like this Pokemon a lot. I like it about this much. I think, as a culmination of the Porygon line, these three Pokemon feel like they all are the same Pokemon, but with different kind of ideas behind them. You got, you know, the old or polygonal original. You've got a... No, don't go that far. You've got, you know, the sort of sleek, upgraded version with more modern technology. No. And then you got the sort of virus one. I don't know how well the narrative's sorted by their designs. Like, you kind of have to look into it to really get it, but I do think it works well enough for the design to be based. I wish it was reflected a bit more in the name and design convention, because it's very subtle, and it works, but I kind of want a little more. So that's why they're only in base department, right? Speaking of base department, hi Gallade. Look, I don't make the rules. You make a cool little green guy, stab them through the chest, I'm gonna put it in peak. It's incredible. I go back and forth on whether which of these Pokemon is, like, better so often, because they're both fantastic. They're, like, in my book, like, basically the same. At the current juncture, I think Gardevoir narrowly wins out, but they're both fantastic designs. Mega Gallade, I think, is a design that has aged somewhat poorly because of sharpness on normal Gallade. But I do still think that Mega Gallade goes hard as hell. I think originally it was an improvement on the design. Nowadays, I don't agree entirely, just because sharpness exists. It's not like, it doesn't feel as iterative anymore. But I still like it a lot. I think it's still a great design. Probopass. Where did I put Nosepass? I feel nothing. It's the same picture. Hey, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon bias. I think Dusknoir is really cool. I think the chest mouth goes hard as fuck. Frostlass. I really like Frostlass. I think it definitely took a bit of like learning about what it's inspired by, because on its own I think it's a pretty cool design, but the inspiration behind it really brings it together as a cohesive design. I think I don't know if it is high. Am I gonna put Frostlass this high? I think I am. I think Frostlass is here. I think Frostlass is great. It's a very haunting presence. It really fits its typing. It feels like if I were to design an Ice Ghost type, I would want it to be some, if not Frostlass, something very similar to Frostlass. I honestly would be super down to try it as a low tier pick. I think because like, I mean, we can you know, I'm gonna pull up Frostlass in the tier bomb, see what sauce it has. But I know it has Destiny Bond and Spikes, which is pretty good. Yeah, Frostlass. This is in Hedex. Alright. So obviously, Cursed Body's a funny ability. Veil is not super useful. Destiny Bond obviously is very fun. What status do you get? Because you get Willow. I assume you get Will-O-Wisp, right? Yeah. Honestly, Frostlass, if and when. Hopefully it's a when, not an if. But when they implement, fucking Frostbite into the game, they should give Frostlass, like, a signature move that makes it really good at inflicting Frostbite. Like, come on, right? You're with me, right? You're hearing what I'm picking down. It's perfect. But also, triple status goes really hard on this Pokemon. I did not realize this Pokemon had Bolt Beam coverage. That's kind of interesting. Like, I mean, I know 80 Spatak's not enough to do that much with it, but like, interested it does have base Thunderbolt. That's crazy. I didn't think it did. I did not think it would. I think you mean not Gallade, but Glalie, and I agree with you if you mean Glalie. If you don't mean Glalie, I still agree that we should get a Mega Frostlass and Za. 110 speed tier is pretty good. Ice Shard, yeah. Okay, yeah. Hex plus mini status option is really good. Dual Screen is nice actually. Spikes obviously, Switcheroo and Trick for whatever reason that has Taunt. This is like a fun utility Pokemon, honestly. But it does have Ally Switch, so I have to... No, Does it have the sauce? Oh, yeah. We've got the sauce. Yeah, Frostlass seems sick. Draft. Okay, Rotom. I feel obligated to rank the Rotom forms because of an in-joke with some IRL friends. Was Glalie an ORS Mega? Because I want to say it was. It feels like it would be. I can't validate this at all, but it feels like it would be an ORS Mega. And if that's the case, it makes more sense why Mega Frostlass never became a thing. Because it was probably a thing... It was... Okay, then that makes more sense, yeah. But they should absolutely still do it. I 100% with you. Okay, so I'm going to rank every Rotom form. They're all going to be pretty clustered around Rotom. Rotom. Is it? I think it is. I think Rotom's in. I think Rotom is peak. I think Rotom is a really cool Pokemon design. It kind of does a very similar thing to Frostlass, of being like a cool ghost that haunts something. And the way that it haunts technology is a really cool gimmick. This rating for Rotom, I think, is going to be Rotom as a whole. Because I think as individual gadgets, they tend to be less good than like the base concept of Rotom. I think like the presentation for the original Rotom encounter is chef's kiss. I think Rotom has gotten a lot worse over time as it has become demystified. The original DPP encounter for it is, I think, the best way to encounter Rotom, And ever since, they've just gone downhill with like, oh, it just appears on Mount Coronet now. And I'm like, okay, sure. But Rotom is sick. I love a sort of Ghost in the Shell Pokemon. It's so cool. Rapid Fire. Phantom. Fucking here, I guess. Pretty good. Freeze Tom. It's I don't really like it. It's just kind of a fridge. It's not great. It's I keep moving down here. Oven. I quite like Oven. He's a funny guy. He has the oven mitts. That's very cute. Fucking Motom. He's a lawnmower. Why am I ranking these? God, this is stupid. And then Wash Tom's the best one. Yes, 100%. Rotom Phone is the worst fucking world building thing they've ever done. Wash Tom is probably around here. Okay, that's the Rotom forms. I don't care enough to actually think about them. The Lake Trio. I like the Lake Trio, but like, I acknowledge that they're 3 of the same Pokemon, right? Like, they're cute, and they fit for what they want to be, but they're not great. So I'm kind of gonna put them, like, below Cyndaquil, and they're all gonna be here. And then I'm gonna rank them according to how I like them individually, which is like this. Exactly, actually. I think Rotom's become really devalued as a Pokemon over time. Alright. Legendaries. Dialga is based. What a cool guy. I think he goes... What for Rayquaza? About here. I think it really feels like a god. This is my Mystery Dungeon bias for sure. I think it is probably the best legendary we've seen so far. Best box legendary we've seen so far. And honestly might be one of the best box legendaries of all time. Not the... We're gonna get to some better ones soon. But I think as it stands, Mega Dialga is super cool. Origin form Dialga, I don't like as much, because I think the body looks really weird, and I don't like it. It's very off-putting to me. I like the concept of what it goes for, but the execution is just not it for me. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't love it. In contrast, Palkia is still a great design. I think it probably goes around... around here. It's you know, it gives me divine vibe. It's a very cool draconic deific Pokemon, but unlike Dialga, it doesn't quite feel as regal to me. It kind of feels more lizard-like. But Origin form Palkia is really cool. The lack of arms feels a bit weird to me because it feels like it should be more centaur-like, but like it feels very regal, and I feel like it really does in this particular form match Dialga. It feels almost like a futuristic kind of Pegasus cyber thing. I don't know how to describe it. It feels really cool. I love it. Heatran's pretty cool. More legendaries should be like Heatran, and by that I mean funky little guys that you just find in a fucking cave somewhere. Not like an exceptional Pokemon design, but I like him. I think he's a cool lava guy. He feels like what I'd want him to be. Regigigas. I feel much about Regigigas the same way I feel about the other Regis, and that is good. I like Regigigas. Actually, I think I like Regigigas a little more. We're not getting to the best Pokemon ever made this stream. Regigigas actually gets a step up for me. I think Regigigas is about as cool as Drapion. the sheer magnitude. You know what? No, I keep underselling this thing. It's going to the fucking moon. I love Regigigas. Like, this ancient titan that dwells beneath the earth. You know, that is a creator titan god. Such a cool lore design. With its 3 best friends, you know. Regigigas clears. So cool. Giratina. It's pretty alright, you know. I like the kind of satanic shadow it has. It's a pretty strong design. I like it quite a bit. I think it's about here. Origin form, though, goes hard as hell. Oh my god. Like, this is the Pokemon to clear Dialga, if there ever was one. Like I think Giratina is such a cool design for a Pokemon Satan, I guess. Because it's not, like, truly demonic, but it is definitively, like, antithetical to, you know, better, like, don't make me cry again that one of Pokemon I really like is fucking awful because of its ability. Alright. Cresselia. I think Cresselia is pretty alright. I think Cresselia is about as cool as Cherim. SansDracovish, do you wanna make any comments about Cresselia in chat? Do you wanna say anything about Cresselia? I'm going to let you insult it. Please, go ahead. Roast the fuck out of it. I want to hear it. Thank you. Alright, we can move on now. Like, let's be real. Cresselia in competitive is absolutely, like, monstrous. And it's a complete fucking burden in Mystery Dungeon. However, it's not that offensive design-wise, so it's kind of, like, fine. Yeah. Fione is pretty cute. That's all it really brings to the table. I suppose. Manaphy is cute and fun. I like Manaphy. I feel about Manaphy, I like it more than, I like it about a little more than Pichu. Manaphy's cute. Darkrai is a very cool guy. He's very cool. Look how cool he is. He's about as cool as Tangela. Edgy Nightmare Pokemon, can only imagine looks like this. Very cool guy. Landman is a very cute. I think for a gratitude Pokemon representing gratitude, it does its job very well. It's a very just. I want to give it a little pat on the head and rustle its leaves. It's so cute. Skyman is cool. I just wish it wasn't the way it was in competitive. I think it's about here. I think, as a design, I think Skyman is actually really cool. I think it's a really cool way of turning this, like, little cute gratitude Pokemon into a cooler guardian kind of figure. But as it stands, it's just, why do they give it Serene Grace Air Slash as like a defined... I hate it. Arceus is a really good design. Arceus... Compared to his brothers, I think it's probably slightly better. I think... no, I'm actually going to put it above PZ. Arceus really feels like a Pokemon that transcends Pokemon. It feels like an ethereal being. You know, like, if there were to be a Pokemon god, I can't think of a better candidate than Arceus. It's so regal, in a sense. And with that, we are on to Generation 5. I'm going to take a small break to make sure I don't wear my voice out as quickly as last time, because there's a lot of Pokemon. Well, Togekiss doesn't have as... So, here's the cool thing about that. So here's a cool thing about that one, right? if the showdown team builder will load, right? So here's the difference here, right? Here's the difference. Watch. So when I plug in Togekiss, this number is 80. And when I plug in Shaman Sky, that number is 127. Does that answer your question? We're going to move on. Alright. So, I'm gonna take a short break, get a drink. And then when we're back, we are going to go through the immense number of Pokemon that are in Generation 5. Oh boy. Okay, we're back. So. And so we begin with Victini, who I could not care less about. What a great start to Generation 5. I like Snivy though. Snivy's pretty cool. He's pretty solid as far as starters go. I think he's pretty cool. Servine, about the same, I feel. A little worse. Around here. Yeah. And Superior, I think, is pretty cool. I think Superior is a fun little grass-type snake. I think it's an interesting concept. I wish it was dual-type, but if it's not going to be dual-type, I think I'm okay with it being like this. I'm underselling how much I like it. I think it's actually about here. Okay. Tepik is a serviceable fire pig. You know, it does what it needs to do. About here. Gee, I sure hope it doesn't stand up. Oh. I do not care for Pig Knight. And I particularly do not care for Embor. I think Embor at least has a bit of a cool factor going for it, which is, you know, some points there. But not a lot. Oshawot's cute. Cute little guy. Serviceable. Actually, I'm gonna do a little better than that. Oshawot's pretty cute. Duot's pretty cool. I like him. I think as far as middle stage evos, he's pretty alright. Probably about here. I think Duot does pretty well for himself. And Samurot's actually quite cool. I think Samurot does a great job of being a final stage evo for the Osh. Not necessarily for the Oshawott line, but in general, it's a pretty cool guy. Probably around here-ish. And then Hisui Samurott really, like, takes Samurott and makes it way better. I think Hisui Samurot's a significant improvement. I'll have to put it about here, actually. I think Hisui Samurot's very cool. I know it's just edgy Samurott, but I don't know, that works for me for some reason. I don't know how to explain it. Patrat is mild disdain. Watchog is worse. I do not like the rat. I'm kind of trying to go vaguely quickly through the through some of the Univamons because there's a lot of Pokemon that honestly do not deserve more than a passing mention in the early sections. And while I do think there's a lot of good Univa designs out there, I think there's a lot of designs in general in this generation, and I do want to get through it this stream. I'm not optimistic about getting through this generation and also Gen 6, but we'll see what happens, and I think if we can make our way through Generation 5 with a relatively good pace, then I would say that, you know, getting through here might be fairly reasonable. Lillipup is pretty cute. It's an I suppose, kind of pretty cute, though. Probably around here. Herdier, I think, is actually a pretty alright design. I think I quite like it, but it's not really a I quite like it. It's an I suppose about here. And then finally, Stoutland is alright. I feel much for the same way that I do with Herdier. I think it's a little bit, I like a little bit less than Herdier. They're just kind of fluffy dogs, and that's fine. They're just not my type of thing. I hate that Purloin is, because, like, am I going crazy, or is Purloin, because, like, it's bipedal here. Is it always bipedal? I don't know, I don't like it. Mild disdain. Go. And then Lipard's alright. I don't think it does that much, but I think it's very much in the camp of I suppose. I like it about as much as Ursaring. And here we get to the rapid fire round. That's it. Alright. I'm gonna rank 6 Pokemon in 10 seconds. Pokemon's always been a biped. That's crazy to me. Actually, we can check this, right? Because we can just go to sprites. Right? Yeah. No, it was not always bipedal. I knew it. See? Aha! Yeah, I think this is a much better Purloin sprite. The sickle tail works much better when it is quadrupedal. Yeah, this Purloin transcends mild disdain. I'm going to use that to leverage it to be about as good as Corsola. What a compliment. Alright, you want to see me rank 6 Pokemon in 1 minute? Alright, mild disdain, mild disdain, mild disdain, mild disdain. Wretched creatures. I don't like the monkeys. They're all bad. Alright, Muna. Muna's really cute. Muna gets to be in the base department, I think. Does it? I'm gonna put it in 7 out of 10. I think I'm biased because I have a friend who really likes Muna. But I do like Muna myself. I think it's very cute. It's not like exceptional or anything, but I think it is a very solid design. I think Musharna clears and making it a sort of Dream Eater Pokemon. But they're both pretty good. I could put it around. No, it's not cooler than Magnezone. It's not cooler than the Magna Boys. It goes about here. I like Musharna. Oh look, it's more Pokemon I don't care about. Mild Disdain. Tranquil is that I feel nothing. And then fucking Unpheasant's one design, and they're both. Well, actually, Male Unpheasant's a lot better, actually. Like, Male Unpheasant is actually leagues better, because it actually has, like, an amount of personality in its design. Enough to put it, like, top of I Feel Nothing, and then Normal Unpheasant is, like, as bad as Pidove. I do not like these designs. Blitzel is I Feel Nothing. About as nothing as Persian. Zebstrika, I feel a little less nothing for. I think Zebstrika manages to make it into I suppose. It's a zebra, lightning zebra. That's pretty cool. Roggenrola. Where's Geodude? I think Roggenrola actually clears Geodude, but like very slightly. Boldor. I think Boldor is pretty alright. He's kind of a rock guy. I think Gigalith is actually pretty cool. I gotta give kudos to Gigalith. I think Gigalith... Where's Golem? Golem's over here. I think Gigalith is significantly better than Golem. I think Gigalith actually makes it into pretty solid. I think as far as like being a distinct rock type, Gigalith does make itself interesting in a way that Golem kind of doesn't, by being just kind of like a rock. Like, look at that guy, he's a rock. Whereas Gigalith is very craggy in a way that gives a lot of life. Woobat is a Pokemon that exists. Swoobat is also a Pokemon that exists. I think it's kind of cute. That's about it. Drillbur is pretty solid. I don't think it's an exceptional design. I think it's gonna go about here. But it's a kind of mole guy. He's got something going on. Excadrill though. Excadrill is great. Excadrill is very good. How far am I going to go to Excadrill? I'm going to put Excadrill actually, like, around here. I really like Excadrill. Oh, boy. Yeah, we've gone a fair bit of the way through. Yeah, Excadrill is very strong. I like Excadrill a lot. It's a very cool guy. Audino. Oh, boy. I like Audino, actually. It's pretty cute. Not great, but, like, about as good as Ledian. And then Mega Audino is Travesty. But design-wise, I do actually like it. So it's gonna make it here, I think. I have to apologize to my friend. Mechanically, it's a travesty, and you have been scammed. But I think it's cute. I think the design works for it. I do not care for Timber. I feel nothing. About as nothing as Welmer. Girder is a Pokemon that fills me with mild disdain. Conkeldurr, I've come around on a lot, but I still don't like it. About here. I just think the muscle patterns look kind of awkward. I don't really vibe with it. I think it's like got a little more personality than Machop, but that's about it. Timple's kind of cute, but I barely think about this Pokemon's existence, so it's very much an I suppose. I'm not fond of Palpitoad. He looks wrong. Tranquil levels of wrong. No. We've been over this. Jinx, that's Smoochum. Because they decided Jinx needed a baby form. You're close, though. And Seismitoad is actually pretty cool. He's a fun froggy. He goes around the level of Carvana. Oh, look! It's the Muppets! I love Bert and Ernie. It'd be nice if they were good designs. I don't like them. Swaddle! I like Swaddle a lot. I think Swaddle's really cute. I wish it was a better typing, but, you know, for what it is. Swadloon? Swadloon, I think, is okay, but it does kind of have an obligation to be with the other Chrysalis Pokemon. I like Leavanny a lot. I think Leavanny is a super cool Leaf Mantis Pokemon. I think it really does a lot for me. I think it gets to go around here. I think it's pretty good. I think it's about as good as Crawdaunt. Maybe better than Delcat even. Yeah, it gets to go all the way up here. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this for Leavanny. Venipede sure is a bug. It definitely clears these other, like, grubs, though. I think it gets to make it probably around the level of, like, Grumpig. It has a little more personality going on there. Whirlipede? This is a Pokemon that exists. Sure. And Scolipede's pretty cool. I think the reason I like Scolipede is like 90% because it has Speed Boost, and for that it kind of doesn't get to make it super far out of I suppose. But I think it's a pretty cool centipede kind of Pokemon. I think it works. It gets to be pretty solid. Cottony is pretty cute. I like Cottony a fair bit. I think Cottony is a pretty solid design. I think it's about Chinchou levels. He's just a little silly little guy. And then Whimsicott. is in the base department. I love what got. Oh, Superior is here. Pretty solid. Top and pretty solid. Petalil? I really like Petalil. I think Petalil is so precious. Really good design there. Petalil gets to be around the level of Sneasel, I think. And then I also like Lilligant a lot. I think Lilligant... I think Lilligant's about here. About the level of Milotic. Just a very solid grass type. Hisui Lilligant I actually like less. It feels like a leek, which I feel is not at all what Petalil should have gone for, given its things. I still like it on its own merits, though, well enough. I think it's about here-ish. I still like it well enough. The three masculine forms are very similar in my eyes, and by that I mean fairly forgettable. I do think they make it into I suppose, but I just don't have emotions for these guys. They're just the fish that became decent in low tiers because it has adaptability, and that's about all I have to say about that. Sandile's a cool guy, though. I like Sandile. Sandile is honestly better than Drillbur. I think Sandile's superior. Sandile's around here. He's just a cool little crocodile in the sand. What a cool guy. Krokorok? Hold on 1 second. Having some issues with the stream. Hold on. You see, I like the idea of a slender, more athletic Lilligant. I think that makes a lot of sense. I just wish it wasn't so aesthetically more like a leek. Okay. Okay, I apologize for any buffering. My internet is not being agreeable. Don't know how to fix that right now. Krokorok, I don't quite like Krokorok as much as I like Sandile. I don't know, I don't really love the bipedal vibe. I still like it, though. I like it about as much as I like Drillbur. And then Crocodile's a cool guy. He feels very sinister and mafioso-like. But I think really fits as the final stage for this guy. I think Crook gets to be about as cool as Altaria. Taramaka's a silly little guy. I endorse silly little guy. I think it's weird that there's the Daruma doll Pokemon is in the desert in the America region. But aside from that, I think he's cool. I think he gets to be around the level of Krogunk. He's just a silly little guy. Ice Taramaka, I don't quite like as much. But I acknowledge that they're basically the same, and I think it's my Galar hate that's getting in the way. So I think I'm just gonna put him next to Darumaka and not think about it too much. Ape. He is angry. I think Darmanitan is pretty cool. Zen mode Darmanitan? I never think about this Pokemon's existence, I'm gonna be honest. I think, fundamentally, the reason I don't care about Zenmo Darmanitan is because of its mechanical implementation. But I think also the design is pretty mid. I think it's an I suppose, kind of design. It just kind of doesn't feel like a lot, you know? Like, it sure does exist. Alright. Darmanitan Galar. I feel like this concept was done before with Abomasnow. Kind of Yeti-esque vibes. I don't think this doesn't work, but I think it does work noticeably less than Abomasnow. Where'd I put Darm? Here? Okay, I'm gonna put Darm Galar down here. I'm not fond of Darm Galar. Zenmo Darm Galar, though, I think is very cool. This is a much more interesting variation on the concept. I think he's a cool guy. I think Snowman fits his vibe. Yeah. He can be like a round Crobat and Baltoy. He's pretty good. Maractus? Maractus is just kind of cute. I don't have any more thoughts on it. I suppose. You're cute enough. You can be above Mega Steelix. Dwebble, similarly, kind of cute. I think it's peak I suppose. Crustle, I'm okay with Crustle. I don't love Crustle. Scraggy, I used to really not like. Now I'm just kind of mid on it. I think Scraggy's alright. I think this is the Pokemon that I think, I suppose. But I think it is about as good as Meowth. And that's a ban from chat right there. Oh. Ah! It broke the fucking chat window because I went to ban you. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm not streaming about Pep Mons ever. I think the only one that I will give validation to is Gotora, I think. That's the tiger one. The tiger one's pretty cute. And then Omegadge is pretty cool. Fuck, I have to use two-factor authentication to ban someone from my own stream? What the fuck is this? Okay, yeah. We're just gonna remove that comment. There we go. Scrafty! Where did I put Scraggy? I already forgot. There it is. Scrafty's pretty cool. I think Scrafty's alright. I think it clears Gyarados and Banette. Sigilyph is actually pretty rad. I like Sigilyph a lot. I think Sigilyph is a 7.8 out of 10. I think it gets to be around Torchic. My stream, my rules, fucker. I always want to apologize for that. Yamask I'm not super fond of. I think Yamask is kind of an bottom of pretty solid Pokemon. Like it's all right. Galarian Mask, I think, is about the same, honestly. I think these are very much the same kind of Pokemon. We haven't gotten to Frankie yet. This is Frankie. Yamask is not Frankie. What are you on? Anyway, Kofagrigus is really cool. I like him a lot. Think about here. I think sarcophagus Pokemon with ominous hands coming out that will drag you into the sarcophagus and mummify you is rad as shit, okay? Goes unbelievably hard. Tirtuga is a prehistoric turtle. I suppose. Caracosta is a boomer in Mystery Dungeon. So he's a little worse than the Zoomer son. Oh, I don't know. I have not played any escape room ROM hacks. Archon's pretty cool. I like Archon a lot more. I think Archon gets to be here. Archon's about here. And then Archeops is really cool. I think Defeatus is a really fun ability for it. And I think it doesn't really fit the Pokemon so much, but I think the vibes of Archon and Archeops are both really good. I'm gonna put Archeops about here. Now, oh look, it's the most polarizing Pokemon of all time. Better Grimer. Not really. I actually think Grimer's lower than Muck on my list? Hold on, timeout. Wait. That's crazy. No. Okay, hold on. Okay, now that's fixed. I don't like Trubbish much. I don't care for it. It's about here. Garbodor, however, I think at least has some measure of personality above Muck, and so it does manage to eke out, I think, being about as good as Skiploom and Chimecho. Because it's a pretty cool concept for an overflow and trash kind of mon. Ironically, I think this is the one and only Evo line where the Gigantamax form is actually pretty cool for it. Because it's a full-ass landfill in the Gmax form. Which I think goes pretty hard. That's it. That's my one time where I'll say Gmax is okay. But now we're gonna move on and pretend I never mentioned it. Zoroark's cute. I think its prankster vibes aren't on full force as a Zoroark, but it's still pretty cool. I think it's about as cool as Drillbur. Hisuian Zoroark is fucking adorable. To the goddamn moon. This thing is so fucking cute. Oh my god. I love him. Similarly, Zoroark I like a lot. I think it's a pretty cool prankster kind of almost Kitsune-like figure. Not quite, because that, like, is it? I don't know. It's cool, is what I'm saying. I think it makes it into this tier. Probably around, probably about here. And then Hisui Zoroark is very cool. This Pokemon goes hard as fuck. I don't like it as much as Hisuian Zoro. I think Hisuian Zoro is so cute. But I think this design goes rad as hell. I think it belongs probably around Skarmory. Very good. I think Minccino's adorable, but I think it's very plain. I think it's a pretty solid design. I think it's all out in the league of like a Clefairy. Chinchino to the fucking moon. I love Chinchino. I think Chinchino is one of the most precious organisms known to man. The fact that this thing, it can like load a dice technician with Shedtail in Gen 9 brings me so much joy for this little adorable rat. It deserves great things. Tidy Up is so good for it, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I made myself ramen. Well, not like good ramen, just shitty ramen. Did I say shed tail? I totally meant tidy up the whole time. Oh look. It's wretched creatures. Anyone gonna debate that? Alright, now moving on. Ducklet is as an I feel nothing kind of Pokemon. Goes about here. And Swan is like a little bit better, but still just kind of a nothing burger of a Pokemon. Alright. Okay, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna piss off my friend any longer. I'm not beating around the bush. Solosis is based. Solosis is the peak of based. Duosion is also the peak of based. And Reuniclus is peak Pokemon. No, it beats Jirachi. And Ralts. And Pert. But not my while for me. I think that the Solosis line is exceptional. I think they are some of the best Pokemon in Unova. If not the best evolution line in Unova, straight up. Like, I am a biologist, right? Like, that's what I study, that's one of my passions. And I think Solosis is a great way of having there be this Pokemon that represents cell division. It's got an outer membrane, it's got nucleus, you can see it dividing in the cell in Solosis, and you can see the multiple nuclei in Reuniclus and Duosion. It's just such a cool design for a Pokemon. It's so unique, and it really is evocative. I think it's rad as fucking hell. I love these Pokemon so much. And now we talk about Pokemon that I don't care for as much. Vanillite is actually pretty cute. I used to be on the Gen 5 hate train with this guy, but no, he deserves a little love. About as much love as Almanite. Maybe a little more. Vanillite is cool. I'm not so fond of Vanillish. I don't love its expression, but it's kind of an I suppose Pokemon for me. And the Vanillix gets to be back in pretty good, you know? It's pretty alright, you know? He's a cool ice cream cone. How can you hate a cool ice cream cone? Oh my god, there are 4 dealing. I'm gonna eat some ramen, and then I'll get a... Yeah. Okay. So Deerling is a deer. I have no more words to say about it, except for the fact that there's 4 of them. And I think it's actually pretty neat. I think a Pokemon that has 4 different seasonal variations is pretty cool. I think in Deerling's case, I wish they'd done a little more to differentiate them. I think Sawsbuck in general is better at this. I think they could have done a little more with it, because, like, the base of Sawsbuck is kind of just, like, for a lot of them, except for Winter, but I think as a whole, they're all pretty good. None of them are exceptional, but they're pretty good. I think Deerling is about as good as Jumpluff. And for a Pokemon that's just kind of a deer, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to rank the seasons of Deerling. They are as follows. You can argue about that. But frankly, I think if you're spending time arguing about which seasons of Deerling are the best, you're kind of wasting your time. Sazbuk is slightly, I think... I'm torn, because I think Deerling's cuteness does bring it up a bit compared to Sazbuk. But I think Sazbuk does a better job of being a cool seasonal design. So I'm going to probably put it around here, just below Yamask. And I will also rank them within season. Yep, I'm comfortable saying Deerling does not clear Zapdos. Zapdos. Sorry, it does clear... No, it doesn't clear Zapdos either. Zapdos is definitely better. Zapdos is better than Gyapdos. It is known. No, Ferrothorn. Get back. Alright. Gen 6 have locked into... That sucks. That's lame as hell. Alright. Emolga. I think Emolga's really cute. Does not get to these guys' level, I'm sorry. It goes probably around here-ish. I think here's good. Emolga's very cute. Kind of a bastard, but I love him. Parablast? Honestly, mild disdain. Escavalier, however, is a cool guy. I think Escavalier is very cool. I think, you know, Bug in suit of armor with, like, traditional lances is super rad. Fungus? So I gave Voltorb points for being just like a mimic. And Fungus is a better mimic, so it gets to be better on the list. I think it gets to be around here. It's just kind of like a mushroom. But it's a mimic mushroom, which is pretty cool. I like it. Hey chat, can someone remind me what this Pokemon's name is? Can someone remind me what this Pokemon's name is? I've forgotten. Thank you. So Among Us is actually pretty good. I like him. It's kind of similar to, kind of similar to Fungus in the way it's kind of a mushroom, but the mimicry adds a pretty nice touch to it, and I think I like it about as much as Krogunk. No, I like him a little more. Not as much as Meryl. He's a pretty cool guy. Frillish looks like he's seen some shit. And she looks like a happy little girl. I think the expression actually does a lot for my opinion of these Pokemon, but I think in general they're both kind of like, I suppose. Hate to be a misandrist, but I do think female Frillish is a bit cuter than male Frillish. In contrast, though, I think female Jellicent is an abomination, while male Jellicent is pretty alright. But they're both kind of alright. I suppose. Alomomola is imprisoned for gamer crimes. Oh yeah, Jellicent in-game? Pretty solid and enjoyable Pokemon to use. But yeah, Alomomola is just a fucking sinner and deserves to be in the pits of hell for what it's done. Joltik. I love Joltik. He's so cute. Just a little fucking guy. And here's the thing, right? I don't like spiders. I hate spiders. I hate ticks. I don't like bugs. No, Aloe's flip turn does not make her cool. I'm sorry. She's still just a big sack of HP that looks like a Love Disc evolution, but isn't. Anyways, back to Joltik. Joltik's great. I fucking love him. Galvantula I like less than Joltik because it is a bit more grotesque, but it is still a great design. It does trigger my arachnophobia slightly more than Joltik, who's just kind of a fuzzball of just friendship. But I still like him a lot. I think Galvantula's pretty cool. Pharaoh Seed is a Pokemon that I kind of feel I suppose towards it. Like, conceptually I like it, but it's just kind of a spiky metal seed. Ferrothorn, I want to rank highly. But due to certain I'm going to temporarily set aside the homophobia issue. Temporarily set it aside. Because I think Ferrothorn's design is pretty sick, actually. I think Ferrothorn's a cool guy. I like Ferrothorn a lot. I think the sort of metal seed thing for Ferroseed is very basic and kind of dull. But the way it works out for Ferrothorn being like a middle kind of plant... Cameron, no. I hate to break it to you, but... You can't just defend your problem, go on Twitter and defend your problematic fave like that. Like, it's not going to end well. You have to accept the truth. Ferrothorn is homophobic. I wouldn't be out on Twitter defending that. I wouldn't say that on Twitter. The evidence is pretty compelling. Alright, Clink. Clink is 2 gears. I feel nothing. Clang! Clang is 2 gears. I feel nothing. Kling Clang is 3 gears. And I think that's pretty solid, actually. I think Kling Clang's more complex design makes it feel like a more complex piece of machinery that makes it a lot more substantive than 2 gears. And a hula hoop. Tynamo is a disappointment. Electric. I feel nothing. Electros is pretty alright. I think, like, the cute eel, quote-unquote, designs do not work. They do not feel cute to me. They don't feel cool to me. They don't work. Electros, however, does manage to come across as pretty cool, despite that I still think it looks a little fucking creepy. I do think it works well enough. Elgyem is a Pokemon that exists. Behem is 2. Litwick! Litwick is based. I love Litwick. He's so cute. I think he's a great little guy. Lampent falls off a little bit. However, I think he's still pretty solid. I'd put him around here. No, I think he's better than Rapidash. And then Chandelure brings it right back to the top, baby. Chandelure is great. I think Chandelure is fantastic. Oh, there's the wig. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I stand by these rankings. Axew? Axew's pretty cute. I think Axew's alright. I think Axew's kind of on the same level as, like Kabuto. Kind of cute. Fracture... This is not a very flattering picture of Fracture, but I think it's alright. I think Fracture is kind of an I suppose kind of Pokemon. About here. But Haxorus is very cool. I think Haxorus is about as good as Mega Garchomp. Just a cool guy. Axe Mouth, pretty strong. Cubchoo is a wretched creature. I do not like looking at it. It makes me want to throw up. Beartic isn't as bad. I do not care for it, though. Cryogonal's pretty cool. I think Cryogonal's about this cool. He's pretty solid. But mostly Vapor, actually. Shelmet is pretty cool. But I don't feel that much about it. About here. And then Excelgor is pretty neat. I think the ninja vibe on it's pretty nice. I think this was done better with Greninja later. But I like what he got going for him. I think he's about here. Stunfisk is a Pokemon that exists. And often, I'm not aware of that. Galar Stunfisk is also a Pokemon that exists. And often, I forget about that. Mienfoo is pretty great. The Little Cup Goat of all time. Mienfoo's got a pretty good thing going. And Mienshao, I think, represents... I think it feels weird that its arms are like that, but I understand why. I don't think I like it as much as Mienfoo, but I do still like its kind of elegant fighting type design. I think it's pretty cool. How far are we? Oh, we're actually pretty far into Gen 5. How long have I been streaming? Almost 2.5 hours. Okay. We'll see how we're feeling at the end of Gen 5. Because Gen 6 is pretty small in terms of regional deck size. That's fair. I honestly just don't care enough about Galarian Stunfisk to dislike it. That's why it's only here. Druddigan looks like a fucking clown. Get in the mild disdain zone. Golett. I like Golett a lot. I think Golett's super cool. And Golurk is even cooler. I think Golurk and Regigigas have very similar vibes to me. I do think Regigigas is a little better, but I still think Golurk works on its own merits. It's just a cool construct guy. An ancient titan of sorts. Poniard's alright. I don't love him, but I think he's pretty solid. I think he's about as good as... About as good as Honchkrow. Bisharp is very cool, though. Look, I'll say it. I've said it once. I've said it again. They've never made a Pokemon with sword hands that has flopped. It's always a winning combination. Bouffalant. Who? Rufflet is a Pokemon that exists. I feel nothing. Braviary is American. Hisui Braviary I also don't care about, but it's kind of alright, I suppose. Volibee is a wretched creature. but I find myself invariably drawn to Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz is eternal. It's a pretty cool vulture. Actually, I'm gonna raise it even higher. I think it's pretty alright. It does alright for itself. Eat more is a wretched creature. Kevin Durant? You're pretty cool, you can stay. I don't think I've ever put, like, more than a single brain cell to thinking about Rufflet in my life. Dino is a Pokemon who I'm going to multiply how much I would rank it normally by 80%. I like Dino. I think he's pretty cool. I think he's pretty solid. I don't love him that much, but I think he's pretty alright. Xylus, I think, is pretty cool as well. I like him about a little more than Dino. Not that much more. A little, but a little. Probably around here. Yeah. And then a Hydreigon is sick as fuck. Hydreigon is a fantastic pseudo. Oh my god. He's going into base department, I think. He's got massive stonks. I have really grown on Hydreigon over the years. And I think it's well deserved. I think Hydreigon is simply fantastic. I don't love using it in actual, like, competitive play. Because of his 4x weakness. I don't love using 4x weak Pokemon. But, like, it's a really fun Pokemon. Like, the Hydra concept is really cool. I love the Eins, zwei, drei name scheme thing. Dark Dragon's an interesting typing. Levitate's a fun ability. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. It's really rad. Larvesta is a torch. And that is, fine, I suppose. Oh, hold on. I gotta skip. Get the fucking dogs out of here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to hear that. We don't stand. We don't stand for the dogs here. We don't let them get a word in. Huh? I don't know to what you're referring. Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, that Pokemon's even worse. It misses its moves. You see, at least with the 4x weakness, I can say, no, that's my fault. I should have played around their moves. With fucking Iron Mugulus Hurricane, you just cry in the mirror at night. Volcarona is very based. About this base. I think Volcarona is sick as fuck. Not quite peak, but close to it. Very cool Pokemon. In fact, there are 3 of them, and all of them are pretty good. Cobalion, I think, is also very cool. It has this sort of old mentor vibe to it that I think really fits the Swords of Justice very well. I think it's about as cool as Vaporeon. No, it's falling a bit. Falling a bit. Falling a bit. Here. Yeah, Mega Absol's peak. Deal with it. Terrakion, I will not be referring to it by its other name in this particular stream. But it's kind of a very I suppose, Pokemon. No, it deserves a little better. It's about here. And then, Verizon Wireless, gets to be in pretty solid, I think. It's this inferior grass fighting type, but it feels like it has very similar quality. Hey guys, you want to see me raid a bunch of Pokemon at once again? Oh boy, it's the fucking Shitmon and it's the shitty design Unova Power Hour again. Bam. 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 That's about how I'd rank them in terms of within themselves. Me seeing two men in any context whatsoever. Tornadus Therian is a mild disdain Pokemon. Landorus Therian is also a mild disdain Pokemon. And Thundurus Therian is I suppose. Congratulations, Thundurus Therian. You surpassed your brothers. Alright, Reshiram. Reshiram's pretty alright. I think he's pretty solid. It feels weird to put it right here, but like, that's how I feel about it. It's just kind of, It's pretty solid. It's a cool dragon. That's about it. I think Zekrom clears very slightly. Oh, god damn it. I don't know if it'll even let me fix that, because I don't have permissions to do that. I'll make another pinned comment about it if it doesn't work after the stream. I think Zekrom's probably around here. I don't know, they're both pretty mid. Kyurem's way cooler, though. A lot of this is more vibes than design. I think their designs are similarly levels of good. But I think vibes-wise, Kyurem clears. Kyurem Black and Kyurem White. I think Kyurem Black is better than White. I like the ice arm, it's pretty cool. But I still think it's pretty cool. I think it goes around here. And then Kyurem White, not as fond of. I think it's probably about here. Keldeo. Keldeo's pretty cool. I like Keldeo. I think Keldeo's around here. And then Keldeo Resolute. Corbett wants you to find the difference between these two pictures. It's the same picture. Meloetta! I think Meloetta is really cute. And for that, she gets to be in pretty solid. And not much more. Pirouette form, I'm gonna put with normal Meloetta. Because you never fucking see this form. Genesect is rad. I think Genesect gets to be, like, probably around here, I want to say? Below Tangela. But I think below Darkrai, yeah, above Ampharos. How'd I know that was coming? Genesect is pretty cool. Alright. So we have made it to, Kalos. I think we can probably make it through Kalos tonight. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. But I think when we get back, we can rush through Kalos. There's not that many Pokemon here. I feel as if this is fairly manageable. I'll be back shortly. Alright, well, I'm back. Collectively, I'm hoping Praying gets to base department. I don't know if it'll get that high, but we'll see. Chespin. Chespin's pretty cute. Very I suppose, kind of Pokemon. Quilladin is a mild disdain Pokemon. The reason it's in mild disdain, instead of any lower, is because it helped me win one draft game. And so I have to give it relevant credit. Other than that, fuck this guy. Chestnut's pretty cool, actually. I like Chestnut. I think it does a good job of being a juggernaut Pokemon for what it wants to be. I think it clears Lantern. Not Armaldo, but Lantern. It's pretty alright. Fennekin is very cute. Fennekin probably goes around here. I think it's a cute little fire fox Pokemon. Yes, Vidiquation here is the one who I beat with Quilladin. Not for lack of skill, don't get me wrong. Quilladin just happened to be very useful in that particular matchup. And it is 100% not a good design. Braixen? What the internet has done to this Pokemon, it infuriates me. I think the concept of a magical girl kind of Pokemon is actually pretty rad, though. And I'm going to rate it according to that, which is about as good as Apom. I think the magical girl vibe makes a lot of sense to have a Pokemon for. I have not played Pokken. Can't comment on that. But I do think it deserves some kudos. I think it's a pretty solid design. Just, the internet sucks. It's an awful place. Oh, you sweet summer child. Oh my god. Okay. Delphox is sick, actually. I love Delphox. I think Delphox is... When I put Ninetales, I think this is better than... No, I wouldn't put it better than Ninetales. I do think it makes it to the base department, though. I think it makes it about as high as Hisui Arcanine. Okay, maybe not. I think... Just Oracle of Delphi Fox, this sage-like figure, and it doesn't feel like it's fur bait like a lot of the other kinds of Pokemon of this kind of vague notion. I think it's great! Delphox rules! Fuck off. Froakie? I actually don't like Froakie. Why is it looking at me like that? I feel nothing for Froakie. No. Doesn't make it out of there. About as good as Cubone. Frogadier, actually, I do like a bit, though. I think Frogadier is pretty solid. I like it about as much as I like, Chinchou. Alright, we're not be hearing Delphox slander. Delphox is cool. Greninja is pretty cool. The Greninja love is deserved. Not that deserved, though. I think it's probably about... here? About here. I like it about as much as I like Empoleon. I think that's fair to say. It's a cool frog ninja. No, Delphox is generally not liked that much. I think it's not like hated that much, but like compared to a lot of other starters, I think it's generally not very well liked. I don't get it. I like Delphox a lot. But yeah, Greninja's pretty good. On the whole, I think people kind of undersell the Kalos starters. Probably because of Quilladin. Yeah. Alright. Bunnelby. I feel nothing. It's like if Baneri wasn't cute. How far do we go? How far are we dropping? Better than Smeargle. And Diggersby is a wretched creature. I do not like this Pokemon. Alright, Fletchling. Fletchling is pretty good. I think it's I suppose. Fletchenderer is very slightly better. Talonflame goes hard. It is a subtle design, but one that really works for me. Scatterbug. Hey, Scatterbug! With your brothers in the no serotonin allowed tier. Spupa is the worst chrysalis so far. But Vivion's pretty alright. I do like it better than Butterfree. Not by a lot, though. I think it's, like, about the same as Butterfree. The patterns are cool in theory. In practice, they don't matter much, but hey, it's nice that we have them. Litleo does not deserve to be colon 3. This is a mild disdain Pokemon if I ever seen it. And then male Pyroar, I feel nothing for. Female Pyroar, it's a slightly less negative, I feel nothing. Why does the Pokemon exist? Flabebe is a little fairy spirit, I think is pretty alright. It's just kind of fine. Well, yeah, that's why it's literally only in I suppose. If it was a good design, I'd be in, you know, pretty solid, which is where Flabebe is going to go. Probably, like, here. And then Floette, I think, is about the same. I think Floette does what Flabebe does, just like a little bit. Actually, no, Flabebe, on second thought, gonna go down a bit. I think Floette is probably what I was thinking of I wanted to rate here. And then Florges is actually pretty cool. I think it clears Gyapdos. I think it clears a fair bit more than Gyapdos. I think it gets all the way up to Drillbur. I think it's a pretty cool flowery Pokemon. It's just a pufferfish. Chill. Skiddo. I suppose. It's kind of cute. Go-Goat? I feel nothing. Pancham's cute. Pancham's rad as hell. Pancham is a pretty solid design. Funky little guy. Pangoro I don't like as much, but I do think it is still pretty solid. I think Pancham is about as pretty solid as, about as pretty solid as Makuhita. Furfrou is a wretched creature. Esper is peak Pokemon. I love the autism creature. Praise be to El Shito. I love him so much. Anyway, Meowstic aren't nearly as good. They're still pretty alright. I'd put them in pretty solid. Probably around the level of like Mega Venusaur and Shiftry. And I'd say gender does not have much of an impact here. I think female's slightly better than male, but that's not like a high bar. They're both pretty alright. Honedge. Honedge is in the base department, right off the bat. Right off the bat. Fucking sword Pokemon? Sign me up. 2 swords? You're losing me a little. I'm gonna be honest, you're losing me a little. You're losing me a little. You know, it's 2 swords, it's not quite, it's kind of lame. You know, you've kind of lost me there. Hey, a sword and a shield. Wow. Holy shit. This is peak. They can't make anything with a sword and shield better than this. This is so cool. I sure hope they don't try to make another Sword and Shield Pokemon, because that would never be as good as Aegislash. Looks into the camera. Alright, Spritzy is a wretched creature. Aromatisse. You survived to mild disdain. That's something. Oh my god. That's funny. Swirlix. I think I feel nothing. About in the level of Gigzagoon. Slurpuff. Dual wielding is cool, but they aren't sword arms. That's what the cool thing is. You need to have sword arms. That's the thing. And then Slurpuff. It's probably around here. Yeah. About there. Inkay's cool. I like Inkay. About here. Inkay's pretty neat. And then Malamar, I'm kind of mixed on. I think Malamar is okay, I suppose. Better than Mega Audino. Binacle is a Pokemon that I like the idea of, but in execution, it's really... Why are you here? I don't like looking at you. No, thank you. Barbaracle, however, is much cooler. I think Barbaracle makes it all the way into pretty solid. I think it makes it about as good as... Nuzleaf. Skrelp is a Pokemon that exists. And Dragalge is very cool. Allergy Dragon? Send me the fuck up every day of the week. Holy shit, this is fantastic. It's better than fucking Charizard, that's for sure. Launcher, I suppose. But Clawitzer is pretty good. Fucking Cannon Shrimp? Sign me the fuck up. Holy shit. Helioptile's pretty cute. It's I suppose, it's pretty alright. About as good as Horsey. Heliolisk is, I suppose. I think Helioptile is just kind of cute, and Heliolisk is not as cute, but it still has a thing going. It's pretty alright as a lizard Pokemon. It works. Tyrunt? I feel very little about Tyrunt. Better than Badoo. Tyrantrum's pretty cool though. He's pretty solid. Not as pretty solid as Meloetta, I think. Amora is very cute though. I love Amora. I think Amora is fantastic. I think Amora gets all the way up to Lyron levels, I think. I think it's a very cute design. I think the Aurora kind of eyelashes really helps. And then Aurorus is also fantastic. I really like these two Pokemon a lot. I think Aurorus's elegance is pretty useful. I think we're going to put it above these guys, but it doesn't quite... no, it does. It doesn't beat Golurk, though. It doesn't beat Golurk. Gang. Gang, say it with me, chat. Trans rights. I think that... Okay, yeah, the playlist I was using for this ended. So let's find a new Pokemon playlist, shall we? Sure, let's go with that. Okay. Alright. Back to the list. Trans rights, gang. That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, trans rights. Hawlucha. Hawlucha's good. I don't know why the Luchador Pokemon is in France. But hey. It's a pretty cool guy. That's true, the playlist knew. The playlist is an ally. The Den is the most nothing Pikachu clone. It's still kind of cute, but that won't save it when the end times come. Carbink is, I feel the same way about Carbink as I do about Geodude. It's just kind of a rock. Gumi is a funky little guy. Gumi gets to be about here. Sliggoo, I don't like as much as Gumi, but I do still think it's pretty solid. About here. And then Sliggoo Hisui, I also don't love. I do think it's about a little worse than normal Sliggoo. Probably around here. Goodra, however, Goodra is very good. I think Goodra is probably around... I don't think Goodra clears Charizard, but it's very good. I think Goodra's a great Pokemon. And then Hisui Goodra is just kind of a fucking pathetic wet noodle, and I support that very much. I find it quite relatable. I think that definitely brings it up in my book. I think it's around here. Snail. Klefki. I like Klefki. I think Klefki is a silly little guy. I think Klefki is a good design. I think it gets to be around here. I like Klefki. No, it does not beat Haxorus. I think it beats Mega Garchomp, though. Phantump is cute, but I don't ever think about it as existing. So I think it gets to go below Mega Audino. And Trevenant's a fair bit cooler. I don't have that much in the way of thoughts about it, so I think it gets to go around here by Clink Clang. Pumpkaboo, I feel nothing towards. And then Gourgeist, I also feel nothing towards. But it's a little better, I guess. I like it a little more than Skrelp. Bergmite. My instinct says mild disdain. I don't think that's quite right. I think it's about as... I feel the same way about it as, like, Nosepass and some Flora. Avalugg is a little better. I like it more than Hisui Braviary. Hisuian Avalugg? It's a little worse. Noibat. Noibat's cute. Noibat can stay. I think it's not exceptional, but like it's on the level of like a Numel. I think it's pretty alright. Noivern, however, is very cool. I think Noivern gets all the way to Keldeo. Noivern's pretty sick. Alright, we're almost done with Galos. This is pretty good. We're gonna be done by the 3-hour mark. That's pretty cool. Xerneas is pretty great, actually. I love Xerneas' aesthetic. I think it's pretty cool. I think it gets to the base department. I think it beats out Doublade. I think it's a pretty cool design. I think it represents its themes very well. Yveltal, I don't like quite as much. It's just kind of the Y-bird. It's kind of an I suppose, Pokemon, really. Better than Vanillish. Zydog! Zydog's fun. It's pretty solid. I don't love Zydog, but I do think it's pretty fun. Zygarde, I think, is great. I think it's a very cool design. I think it's probably about... I want to put it above Yanma. Not as cool as Palkia, but a very cool serpentine design. Zygarde Complete, I have very mixed feelings on. Oh, Unknowns and Wretched Creatures, that it can't be quite right. There's at least one X that's not there. Zygarde Complete, I think, is... It's a pretty solid design, I'm gonna say. I like it. I think it doesn't work as implemented. But as a standalone design, I like that it exists. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. Diancie? Diancie is a very solid design. I like Diancie a lot. I think Diancie is better than Tangela. I think it's a very cool design. I wish Carbink evolved into it. And then Mega Diancie is great. I think Mega Diancie is an improvement over the original design. I think Mega Diancie is in the basis. Oh, 100% agree there, yeah. Mega Diancie is about as cool as Mega Blaziken. Very cool design. I have 3 Pokemon left. Hoopa! It's a Pokemon I never think about. I think it's alright. I think it's better than it's better than Shelgon, Sawsbuck, Yamask, Poliwhirl. Not Rhyperior though. Yeah, Hoopa makes it there. I think it's pretty alright. Hoopa Unbound, I don't care for. I think its design is kind of messy. I get what it's going for, but I don't love it. I think it kind of needs to exist because I think it's cool that Hoopa has the Unbound form, but I just don't care for it that much. I think it's about here, honestly. I don't think it's as good as Donphan. And Rhydon. And then Volcanion I just don't like, straight up. Volcanion is a mild disdain Pokemon. I don't get what this is going for. It feels so weird to me. It's like they tried to make Heatran again, but worse. Like, what is the idea here? I don't understand. Okay. And that's Gens 4 through 6. The good news is that the last 3 generations of Pokemon are going to be the smallest overall, because Gens 7 and 8 included a lot of regional forms and that we've already been over, which is very nice. And then Gen 8 has some of the regional forms we've been over. Sorry, Gen 9 has regional forms we've already been over, but most of the part is new designs. So Gen 9 is going to be the longest new section left, but the 2 are fairly short. However, I do think there are some absolute bangers we haven't touched here. For my money, Gen 7 has some of the best designs in this series, a bunch of them. I think what's probably going to happen is I'm going to hype the shit out of a bunch of Gen 7 mons, piss on Gen 8, and then be hyped again for Gen 9. That's probably what's going to happen next stream. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I think one more stream should let us finish the list, and then I think once that happens, we'll be in a good spot. But, yeah. Hope everyone had fun. Yelling about my takes. I, as before, am going to post the updated tier list. The comments, I'm going to move Flygon back to where it belongs. Where was it? I think it was, like, here-ish. No, it was above Mega Absol. Yeah, I know Gen 9's big, especially because of DLC mods, but I'm just not familiar at all with Gen 6 DLC, because, I'm not shelling out $20 for that shit. Same with Gen 8 DLC, but, like, those mods have been around longer, so I'm more accustomed to that, but, like, I have no attachment to, like, Terrapagos or Pecharunt, but, well, I would agree with you, but Gen 5 is a pretty big dex, so I think it's probably going to be a similar length to this stream, so I would say that's probably how long it'll take, if I had to wager a guess. I'm guessing it'll be about as long as this stream. But yeah, that's all I got. Don't need to hit the 3-hour mark. I hope everyone enjoyed. Take care. See y'all next time.